What's going on, everybody? SuperSaiyanPaul here, back at it again. Today we have another Dragon Ball Super discussion, and once again it's revolving around the Dragon Ball Super movie. Guys, I've been having a ton of fun with this, and so have you guys in the comments, trying to figure out what this movie's going to be about. And I think that's one of the greatest parts about Dragon Ball as a franchise. It's always on what we think is going to happen next, and it's always been like that since I was a kid. But before we get into this video, everyone, smash that like button for me, subscribe, and turn on notifications if you guys can. It helps me out a lot, and on top of that, YouTube's very wonky when it comes to the sub boxes, so this way you guys don't miss any videos and miss out on any discussions. Make sure you guys do those things. This way you guys can keep up to date on all news, information, and updates, as well as gameplay that we release on this channel, and stay involved in this community that we've built. This way, when Dragon Ball Super inevitably returns, we'll be able to keep it through and push on through this hiatus. Anyway, everyone, what we're going to be talking about today is the new Ancient Saiyan, who we've been calling Yamoshi. It's not 100% confirmed that it's Yamoshi, but we keep saying it is because, Yamoshi is the only character in terms of Ancient Saiyans that we really know about, so we just keep name-dropping him. But Yamoshi, or this Ancient Saiyan, and we're going to be discussing where his power level should be at in this new movie. Now, with Dragon Ball Super finishing off with Dragon Ball Super episode 131, they told us that Goku cannot no longer use Mastered Ultra Instinct. He cannot use the perfected form of Ultra Instinct, which is ironic because we all thought here that, hey, you mastered it, you perfected it, whatever you may have said. You've only had it for a minute, but I mean, you think that in the perfected form you'd be able to tap into it at will. That's not necessarily the case. What they broke down for us there is that you have to be pushed into a corner to where you have no other choice for this to happen. Now, regardless of that being the case, I don't necessarily say that that could be used every single time Goku can be pushed into a corner. Let's say Goku and Vegeta fight. Right now, as friends, I don't necessarily think that even if Vegeta was to launch a devastating attack towards Goku, it wouldn't even fit their characters right now either, but I don't think Goku would be able to pull out Mastered Ultra Instinct. I think if Goku and Vegeta were to fight 1v1 right now, it wouldn't happen because a lot of the things that were at stake during the Tournament of Power was Goku's fault. Not only that, all of his friends and family were rooting him on because they were going to die otherwise. So those things added to that fight, and that added to the tension and what pushed Goku into this corner, because not only was he fighting for everyone's lives, including his friends and family, but it's just that he was just really had no other option other than pull out the plot armor. So with those things in mind here, we look at Yamoshi, aka the Ancient Saiyan, as we're gonna just call him here, because as I've been referring to, Yamoshi is the code name for the Saiyan, and then same thing with the new Dragon Ball series that may eventually launch later on. We're referring to the code name Dragon Ball Ultra, which I'll be doing another video on later on. His power scaling compared to Jiren. Now let's show you guys exactly where this is going to have to fall into play here, because of Ultra Instinct, the power levels are going to be very wonky. Now, they've been wonky this entire Tournament of Power, and I've never been one to take power levels seriously. Honestly, even since the Dragon Ball Z days, it literally makes no sense in terms of, trying to scale this with math. Guys, they literally threw these out of the water, especially with the Tournament of Power. It's just for fun. It really makes no sense, but you can get a very vague sense of where it should be, albeit it doesn't always work out. Now, if we look at where Yamoshi is, Yamoshi compared to Jiren, he's gonna have to scale higher than Jiren, and this is where the Mastered Ultra Instinct concept comes into play here, because do you guys think, honestly, would you guys like to see Mastered Ultra Instinct again? I think if they use him too much, in this movie, it might get a pass, because movie quality, animation, and all these things will probably get a pass. I think if he pulled out Mastered Ultra Instinct right now, it wouldn't be a problem. But let's say down the road with the future series, and he abuses this, it's gonna really kill the form for me, because not only do I know that this is just the perfected end-all be-all form, it's just gonna be way too much. It's you're overusing a character like Vegeta in a sense, where he's the red button, the Xeno button in himself. So tell me what you guys think. Would you guys rather see Mastered Ultra Instinct a lot more, or would you guys see him every once in a while? Now, the reason why Yamoshi has to scale higher than Jiren is because if you look at it, he's gonna have to be stronger than Jiren, because yes, he's the new villain, if he is going to be a villain, or if he's going to be the new sparring partner in the beginning of the movie. Like I said before, this could easily be a part where Goku and Yamoshi are just sparring in the beginning of the movie, and then they move on to the real threat later on. He just might look really intense during the teaser trailer we saw here, and it could be just for fun, because Goku looks like he's hyped to fight. But aside from that, even if he was the main villain, he would have to scale higher than Jiren if Goku was about to jump into Ultra Instinct, because I mean, for one, he's gonna have to push Goku to his limits, and for two, even if he was like slightly lower than Jiren, one, that's a buzzkill. Two, that means that Goku and Vegeta should be able to handle him no problem. I think that Ultra Instinct really backed itself into a corner in terms of writing here, because yeah, you can't use it as will, but I think that this option right here, this being a movie and this being the person that shows up after the Tournament of Power and after Jiren, you're gonna have to use it. Now, with this being a brand new adventure about to begin here, they're gonna have to make this launch a whole new concept behind it all. And with that being said, they also kept stressing the fact that in the Dragon Ball Super finale, Saiyans have no limits. This meaning that the Saiyans actually have, majority of them actually have the potential to surpass Jiren in a way. If Jiren doesn't really find himself and really figure out how to trust his teammates much better, which if he did do in the Tournament of Power, he would have won, which I think he's kind of moving forward to, they can all surpass him. Because if you've seen how fast Kefla, I mean, if you count them both as Kale and Khalifa, if they showed how fast that they progressed in this tournament alone, this opens up limitless possibilities, and it scales all the way up there to like top 5 fighters in time. Because if you count how fast they powered up in this one tournament, in time they could all reach the top tier of fighters. And I don't know if that's going to bring up a huge problem for the rest of the universes yet again, because this is one of the things that caused Beerus and Frieza to kind of give the Saiyans the weird look, and that's what Frieza feared more than anything. That's why he launched mass genocide. This gave Saiyans a very bad stigma, and I mean, Goku almost repeated this mistake because everyone hated him at the beginning of the Tournament of Power. Now, Yamoshi most likely has to be stronger than Jiren, not only for the fact that it's going to have to bring out Ultra Instinct or show us the new wave of power and these things, he also has to have more power than Jiren, because Goku has scaled further beyond what we think is to be Beerus. At this point in time, he should be stronger than Beerus because of that mastered Ultra Instinct ability. And not only that, Vegeta is technically slightly stronger than Goku with Super Saiyan Blue evolution. Super Saiyan Blue Super Saiyan evolution versus Super Saiyan Blue Super Saiyan Kaioken times 20. Super Saiyan Blue evolution comes in a bit more of his favor, and if they're still going to be powering up and powering up and powering up, Vegeta kind of name dropped and dropped a few subtle hints that he's going to be trying to push for a power level beyond Mastered Ultra Instinct. And remember, he did the exact same thing back in Battle of Gods. When that first debuted, he literally told Goku he was going to do this. And not only did he do it, this guy did it without having to do the ritual. That's how much of a badass Vegeta is. Now, don't call me a Vegeta fanboy, but I love both Goku and Vegeta. I'm actually leaning towards Goku a little bit more here nowadays, but that just begs the question here. They're gonna have to scale them up to the point where Jiren can't be a threat compared to what Vegeta and Goku are about to ascend to, because if you guys looked at the end of the Tournament of Power and that last second montage that they aired, that's a couple months down the road, and they have a bit of time here between the ending of the Tournament of Power and Z for them to get a little bit more power, and then they're gonna have to fight this new guy who has to be stronger than Jiren, because if they don't take him on and it's just gonna be a Super Saiyan Blue battle, it's not the best for promotional fighting, it's not the best for marketing. If anything, Vegeta could actually unlock Mastered Ultra Instinct in this fight, because it would be much better for him to do it because it's a Saiyan movie and all these things, but I'll be discussing that in another video. But having Yamoshi be stronger than Jiren, it makes the most sense, and with him being the imminent threat to Earth, it'll have that risk factor that kind of they brought to the table at the Tournament of Power. Would you guys rather them stick with Super Saiyan Blue Super Saiyan evolution, Super Saiyan Blue Super Saiyan Kaioken times 20, and fight the new villain, whoever the Yamoshi or this ancient Saiyan is, with a scaled down tactic, rather than have them ascend to Master Ultra Instinct, they fight with their maxed out forms right now and still be able to take him on? I don't necessarily see that being the case, because with the past 2 Dragon Ball Z movies, well, this one being a Dragon Ball Super movie, that's the only difference. In Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods, he ascended to Super Saiyan God. Then Super Saiyan Blue, which is Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan in Resurrection F. And then usually in these movies, since everyone's going to be watching, you want the most type of hype, and that will be through a new form, if anything. Now, it almost seemed like Goku was going to jump right back into Mastered Ultra Instinct in the trailer because of that look in his eye. It's not entirely confirmed about that, but Saiyans time and time again always exceeds expectations. Saiyans have no limits, and from this Tournament of Power, you can't judge them out. Now, with them having to scale upwards, even if Yamoshi was to start off in a lower state than Jiren, I think he has the potential, regardless of anything, just because of them saying that Saiyans have no limits, to surpass that of Jiren. And for this to be a movie of that hype and caliber, someone else is going to have to stick up to the plate here, other than just Goku, to take him on. Because if Goku just takes him on alone, it will be a very straightforward movie. We're not saying that Yamoshi is like the main villain or anything here, but I mean, he could just be a sparring partner. But him having no limits as a Saiyan and him being maybe an ancient Saiyan, I think that he's going to have to scale forward beyond that of Jiren, and he's going to have to fill up this weird gap that they have here between where the Grand Priest is at, because he's in the top 5 fighters, and where Jiren's at, and that's essentially where they're going to have to fill up the power levels, because I think in this gray zone is still what's yet to be filled. They've surpassed God of Destruction level, but they haven't exactly matched top 5. And once they do, that's where it's really going to come to an end. But for now, that's that gray area. And right now, where they're going to have to hold it here, because they're always trying to supersede and pass whatever they've done previously. And I think the only time they've done that, where they haven't exactly surpassed, I mean, the previous enemy, I think that would have to be with Beerus. But Beerus right now, they've really been keeping him in a very weird state where they haven't 100% said that it's stronger than Beerus. But I mean, at this point, it should be. Mastered Ultra Instinct should have taken on Beerus a long time ago, but they just keep retconning that. So they really played games with the way Beerus' scaling went with this. But if you, because I mean, moving across the movies and the series and all this stuff, it's just been bouncing all over the place. But for every other villain, it's kind of moved up and up and up. So for this, him having no limit, this being a Saiyan after how long, it makes the most sense for him to be stronger than Jiren, and that's the evidence that I put out there to support it. And we don't even know if this guy has Ultra Instinct himself or not. And if he does, it's an end right there. He literally is beyond that of Jiren 100%. But tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. You think that another Saiyan has the potential to be Jiren? I think because of Kefla especially, that's the character that I always look at whenever I see like huge power scalings in a short amount of time. Her being the prime example as how these Saiyans are going to ascend past a lot of these characters in literally no time at all. But thank you guys so much for watching. Smash that like button. Subscribe for more. I'll be seeing you guys next time. Until then, take care. Peace.